we're going to take a look at the dumbest motherfucker in the Trump administration. I wholeheartedly believe that Kristi Noem is the least intelligent person in what is the least intelligent administration that the United States has ever had. I do
Thank you.
not say this lightly. She is dumb as fuck. She is a literal dipshit. It's more I mean it more because it's not like she was an Instagram model who Trump tapped to be the director of Homeland Security. When it comes to someone like Pete Hegseth, I expect them to be a fucking idiot because this guy was a TV personality. This guy was a media personality. Kristi Noem is a former fucking governor who just has nothing going on in her cabeza. It is nothing. Just vibes. She went before the Senate Homeland Security Committee to discuss the Nazi-style immigration policies of the Trump administration. And she was asked by Senator Maggie Hassan a very simple question. What is habeas corpus? And Kristi Noem gave the exact opposite answer of what habeas corpus actually is.
Mr. Chair, good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Secretary. Secretary Noem, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff recently said that the Trump administration is actively looking at suspending habeas corpus. Last week, you were asked about this, and I want to clarify your position because it's obviously really important to get this right. So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right
let me stop you, ma'am.
Suspend their
Habeas
right to.
corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
Habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people.
I don't know if she's being ignorant, and that is the scariest part. I understand that people in politics lie. I'm aware of what manufacturing consent is. This is not manufacturing consent. This is just being a fucking idiot. There's nothing there's no other analysis I can put forth here. I do not think that Kristi Noem is being ignorant in this regard. I think that she legitimately has no idea what habeas corpus is. If she were being ignorant, she would fully understand what habeas corpus is, but she would attempt to spin it and make folks believe that only U.S. citizens get habeas corpus or some dumb shit like that. Like Stephen Miller is a much better propagandist in this regard, unfortunately, even though he's also tremendously fucking stupid. And there are a lot of right-wing judges who are also tremendously fucking stupid, but they are at least not so out in the open with their stupidity. Now, what is habeas corpus, you might ask? Like, let's say you are unfamiliar. You're just venturing into politics, or you're like a 9th grade U.S. history student. You're like, what is habeas corpus? I didn't learn that this year. Habeas corpus is a legal right given to a person where they are given a fair trial and are allowed to defend themselves against a government that accuses them of a crime. This is like quite possibly the most foundational piece of the legal system, and not just the American legal system, mind you. This is like the Magna Carta of this is like the Magna Carta of self-defense. This has existed for centuries, millennia, probably. I think it dates back to the Roman Empire. I can't quite recall when, but this is something that has existed at least for the length of the United States of America, and for many civilizations before that. Habeas corpus prevents the Trump administration, or in theory, is supposed to prevent the Trump administration from just walking up to you, kidnapping you, and throwing you in prison with no due process for no justifiable reason. She also added here that what did she say exactly? Abraham Lincoln used it in the Civil War.
That the government,
President Lincoln used it.
President Lincoln did not use it, you fucking idiot. President Lincoln suspended habeas corpus during the Civil War, I believe it was, which is fucking wrong. I talk about this whenever these discussions around due process come up. I don't think that you should just be fucking abducted for your political leanings or for your political beliefs. It's wrong. It is a horrible precedent to set, because if I start jailing neo-Nazis just for being out and about neo-Nazis who haven't actually committed a crime, the next fucking leader that comes in will arrest me for being a goddamn DSA member, just for being a DSA member. Habeas corpus and all of these discussions around due process mostly pertain towards undocumented immigrants and naturalized citizens, which is wrong, because regardless of their citizenship status, they are still guaranteed this right. But the minute that you strip away due process from them, you strip away due process from everybody.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including...
Which, by the way, Mahmoud Khalil had those rights violated when ICE detained him for no reason, for no public reason. And then the Trump administration came out and said, oh yeah, by the way, he's not charged with a crime. Like, he didn't do anything wrong legally. We just don't like what he has to say.
American citizens and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the live free or die state, this matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans. So, Secretary Noem, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States
She doesn't know. Like, she got plastic surgery done on her brain. She got ridges removed from her brain. Like, you don't know what you support because you don't know what the fuck habeas corpus is. Like, you support your perception of what habeas corpus is. You don't support what habeas corpus actually is. Mind you, this is a former fucking governor, man. This is a former governor. I understand that public servants are, they may or may not be more intelligent than the average person, but I would at least think that if politics is your job, you would understand like basic principles about your job, right? If you work at a steakhouse, I would expect you to know what the temperature on a medium rare steak is supposed to be. It's supposed to be 135 degrees Fahrenheit, right? If you work at fucking Jiffy Lube, I would expect you to know how to do an oil change. This lady literally does not fucking know anything. She does not know anything.
The authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never
Let
been,
us be clear, though,
it has never been done. It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress. So I have been asking executive branch nominees a simple question over the past few months. If the president orders them to break the law, I've been asking, will you follow the law or follow the order? I want to ask you a more specific question here. If the president tries to suspend habeas corpus and a federal court reverses the president's order, will you comply with the court order and uphold habeas corpus, or will you follow the president's directive?
We are following all federal court orders and are complying with that, as is the president, and every decision that I make as well.
That is obviously not true for anybody who reads the news. There are federal court orders right now, including returning somebody who was deported mistakenly. But
she's so, oh my God, like, she's so bad at this. That's another thing I expect politicians to be good at. You have to be a good bullshitter. Straight up, that's how it is. You have to be able to talk and be able to at least like give the illusion that you're doing all of the appropriate procedures while you're not. Like, literally, a whole fucking story with the Trump administration is that the federal courts are striking them down and they're ignoring them. Like, lady, get better talking points. Get some fucking people in your staff. I don't know if you're still thinking about how you killed your fucking dog and that like doesn't allow you to use your brain properly, but she is so bad at this. She's just a bad public servant.
This is about a fundamental legal right that ensures that we live in a free society instead of a police state.
We do live in a police state, by the way. Like, I don't know what the fuck Maggie Hassan is trying to. I don't know what the fuck she's looking at. Like, very obviously, we are closer to North Korea than we are a free society. Even before all of this stuff with the pro-Palestine protests and with all of the illegal deportations, America houses more prisoners than every other fucking country on the planet, despite comprising just 4% of the global population. We have some of the most archaic prison sentences when it comes to non-violent offenses, when it comes to drug offenses. You have black people who are sentenced at a length 5 times that of white people committed of the same crime.
Legal system like Russia or North Korea. So I'm glad that you have now committed to following court orders. I'm glad you believe in the basic freedom for Americans if ordered to do so by a court. And again, I want just to make clear that it is critically important that even if the president tries to suspend the right of people to know why they've been detained or imprisoned, if a federal court reverses that order, that you will follow that order. And I hope all members of the administration will, because it's obviously critical that some of the people, for instance, who've been deported by mistake, who didn't get due process, be returned in compliance with court orders. So now, let's move on to another issue. International criminal organizations target Americans with sophisticated cyber crime, including elaborate scams that robbed Americans.
All right, don't care about this. Like, now they're talking about fucking boring shit and ransomware. I just wanted to clown on Kristi Noem because I think that she's a deplorable human being. I think she is a legitimately terrible person. I mean, it really is that simple.